Okay, so just a couple things I want to show you. For those of you who did not go onto the website yesterday, I've added some quick notes to you in our 2D section. So this is what I wrote yesterday. Just basically there are video lessons of yesterday's class. Hopefully today I will do a little bit of a better job. They were pretty bad, but it was the first try at it with the iPad propped up on somebody's binder with a stapler on either side. So hopefully today will be a little bit better. If you click on the link, brings them up. We're not going to watch them. Had to be in 3 parts because it kept, every time I paused it, it started a new session, and YouTube didn't want to upload them. So just know that they are there. If you click on the links, you will get those videos. I hope to, in that same link, add the ones from today and the ones from tomorrow as well, so you have all of the classes in there together. On review days, the homework is any outstanding questions from that section of the booklet. So you have your booklet. If you were gone yesterday, you wouldn't have had it yesterday, but you would have seen them through the video, right? This is your booklet. So if there's questions in here that you haven't finished during our period, we'll pause and work and then get back together. There'll be some that won't be done. So if that's the case, you're going to go home and you're going to finish these questions, right? The answers to this booklet are posted as a PDF, and you're going to check your answers and make sure that you know what's going on, right? So every day, on the review day, we talk about it in class, we do some of these questions, and you go home and you finish the booklet questions, as well as the questions on the orange sheet. So you're going to do the section that we were talking about. So chapter 1, linear systems, that's the one that you were doing yesterday that goes with the booklet questions that we did in class. Okay, so every day there's kind of 2 things that go together, and you're going to finish them up at home after class is done. I did post a bunch of other links as well. So this one says getting ready for analytic geometry. That's chapters 2 and 3. A few years ago, I did this section as a flipped classroom. A flipped classroom is when your homework is to watch the lesson and your classwork is to do the practice. It's flipped, it's backwards. I didn't do it this year. Students overall either loved it or hated it, and it was such a big divide between the two that I thought I wanted to just keep it kind of simple this year. But I did it once as a flipped classroom, so I do have all of the videos of the notes from chapters 2 and 3. Some of you did really, really badly on chapters 2 and 3. Remember that chapter? Right? It was all of the prove it's quadrilateral. I don't know what happened, but it kind of flew out the window. So you have to relearn it if you didn't do very well. Okay? If you're relearning it, this is basically all the lessons we did in class, just in video form. They're not fabulous, but they're better than not having me there teaching you. Right? So go through and relearn that chapter. They're there for you. A lot of times you don't have a recap of things that happened 2 months ago, but you happen to have them here, so take advantage of them. You click on the link. Thinking, and it'll bring up the videos. They're all listed by topic, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. The notes are more or less the same as your notes that you have in your workbook. They've changed a couple, I've changed a couple examples or a little bit of formatting, but you'll see that it's very, very similar, that you can follow along easily. So when you're looking, the circles lesson, I just called circles because I don't think it had a title on there with a number, but 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, shortest distance, quadrilaterals, it's all by topic. So if you didn't do very well, or if you don't remember analytic geometry, go back and relearn it because the notes are all there. The answers to the examples are probably the same. Okay? I've used the same examples just so I can keep using these videos to give you guys a review at the end of the semester. So this is one of the most difficult units for you, and you've got the whole thing there for you. Don't ignore it, right? If it's there, use it to help you. So that's that second link I put on there. The last one, relearn the basics of quadratic functions. I did some review stuff over the holidays. If you want a different perspective, there's another review video on there. Again, a little older, not wonderful, but different examples and different, the same thing reiterated in different words. So it might be helpful if you didn't find what you were looking for in the ones from this year. And then a reminder to use Knowledge Hub, because all of our year's worth of review is on there, and it's a really, really good tool to practice. Okay, so you have a lot of things available to you. Your exam is really soon. Right? Period 1 exam is Friday, so you need to make sure that you are practicing and that you're studying. If you don't know where to start, great place to start. Okay, so keep that in mind. I will add the videos from the lessons as we go. It took me like 4 hours to upload them yesterday, so they probably won't be right there at the end of the day, but closer to dinner time, hopefully they should be working. I figured I would try taping in period 1 so I can upload them throughout the day today. It didn't work in period 1 yesterday. Yep. Every chapter has review in here. You mean the video ones? More or less, I would say. Chapter 1 has a bunch. We've already done them. Chapter 2 and 3 is analytic geometry. All the lessons are on video. Chapters 4 to 6 are in the quadratic sections. You guys know that over the break there were also videos posted down here in the review videos link. There's some quadratics videos in there that I made for you guys over the Christmas break. How to study, parts 1, part 2, and part 3. So all of those chapters up to 6 are in there. I don't think there's one with SOHCAHTOA, sine law, and cosine law yet, but when we do our review in class, I'll videotape it and put it up there as well. There's one on proving congruent triangles. It's there. So more or less everything is up there right now. As we continue to review in class, we'll add some more on there. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Please use those things to help you. All right, so let's look at our section for today. These chapters cover everything to do with lines and circles. So anything that's made up of lines or the topic on circles is covered. The formula sheet that you guys have on the very, very back of your booklet. Yep.
When we study for exam, do we depend on this and the questions
Only. Well, I mean, a lot of times the questions that you've seen on your tests or the questions you've seen in your homework, they're useful questions to study. But if you were to study this, like all the stuff in this booklet, and the questions on the yellow sheet, you'd be fine. Yeah. Okay. So the formula sheet that's in your exam review booklets, the last page, flip it over backwards, you'll see the formula sheet. Those are all the formulas you're going to have on your exam. So let's talk briefly about what these ones are, because I think it's really important that you know what each one represents. I'm just going to find that page here. All right. So looking at the analytic geometry formulas, what is the first formula for? It's for slope, yes. So slope of a line. What would I give you if you were going to be using this formula? What would I have to give you? Karen?
2 points.
Yes, 2 points. So it's a slope from 2 points. That's that formula. How about the next one? What is the next equation? Yep, yeah. You're close. Median is the line, right? This point is a midpoint. Okay? Median is the line in the triangle that goes from the corner to the midpoint. That's called the median, but just the point is called the midpoint. So the point that's in the middle of a line segment. The midpoint is going to also be from 2 points. We're given 2 points. How about the next one? The AB formula. Yep. Find the length of a line segment. So, length of a line segment. The other version of this formula that I sometimes did with you guys, you might have preferred this one. Sometimes instead of doing the big square root sign, I said AB squared equals, and the rise squared and the run squared. If you prefer to use that one, that's absolutely okay with me. You can put the x's and the y's in whatever order you want, as long as you are subtracting in the brackets and adding in the middle, right? So these are both equivalent. If you prefer to use the one with the squared instead of the square root sign, that's fine as well. The length of a line segment, yep.
Is there a question where we use all, one question where we have to use all 3 of them? You're fine.
Usually there's parts of a question. Often when you're doing like the shortest distance, you're using 2 of those. You're using the slope and you're using the midpoint. And then you're using the line segment length at the end. So a shortest distance question would incorporate all 3 of those. Yeah. The other word for the length of a line segment, we also could call it the distance. The distance formula. Oops. And that works as well. Yep. How about the 3 equations below? What do these 3 equations represent? Yep.
Line?
Yes, not the length of the equation of a line. So all 3 of these, whoops. All 3 of these are the equation of a line. There are different types though, right? Equation of a line. I'll put this one over here. That's what all three of those represent. But they're different types of formulas. Okay, so which one is the slope y-intercept form? The middle one, exactly. This y equals mx plus b, that's slope y-intercept. So this is the one you're going to use if you're given your slope and your y-intercept. Given slope and y-intercept. What are the other two? Yep,
For the first one, find the equation for linear system.
Finding the equation, what would you be given?
Like slope and 1 point.
Yes. So given slope and a point that's not b, right? So slope at a point that's not your y-intercept, you're going to use the PQ formula. Slope at a point that is your y-intercept, you're going to use the one with the m and the b in it. And how about the last one? What's the last one called? Yes, standard form. You're not going to use that very often, but you'll be given equations in standard form, especially for elimination questions like that. And some of your word problem questions will have equations in standard form. What's the last equation? Yeah.
Why is it not value?
Because if you're given the y-intercept, you would want to use this one, right? Because it's easy, it's done. If you have the y-intercept, use the middle one. If you have another point that's not the y-intercept, you're going to use this PQ formula. Okay. The last equation is what? Jill?
Equation of a circle.
Equation of a circle. Yes. Okay. What are you given if I'm asking you to make an equation for a circle? What would I give you? Yep.
Radius or 1 point.
Yeah, either radius or 1 point. Good. Okay. Are there any questions about any of those formulas for the analytic geometry section? Leah?
For the equation of a circle, what would like x and y be?
In all the equations, x and y are variables. So they stay letters. You're always going to have an x and a y. They represent a point on that function.
Like where would the number?
They wouldn't be numbers.
If we have like a word.
The only time you'd ever put numbers in there is if I said, find the equation of a circle that goes through the point 2, -3. You put the 2 in for the x, the -3 in for the y, and figure out the equation that way. But in an equation that you would be graphing, you have an x and a y as letters. Stephen?
From this equation of the circle,
Yep.
the center has to be 0.
The center does have to be 0, 0. So we can add that in there. Center, centered at the origin. The origin is your 0, 0. Good stuff. All right, so let's take a look at our first and second pages of the analytic geometry section. Couple quick examples. I think I might have you guys try them on your own, and then we'll take them up together. So if you look at the first question here, oops. These are just the basic ones. Find the slope, find the slope of a perpendicular line, the length, and the midpoint. I want you guys to take a few minutes to try question number 1 right now. Try it on your own, and we'll take it up together. Pardon me? At lunch.